Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. Again, the beautiful reminder of choice that you have, that I have, that we all have. And again, what is that choice about? It's about how you're going to think. Remember, it's all about thought. All those thoughts that are happening within you, they lead to feelings. Those feelings lead to your actions. Your actions, guess what? Your results. And another thing, too, by the way, that's tied to that as well, beyond the actions, is that the feeling you have inside is also the attractive force in your life. It determines what you're repelled by and what's attracted to you, and what you're attracted to and what's repelled by you. All of it starting within the mind. Now, think about that for you. If you want to change your outcomes, you want to change your results, you want to change how much you earn, what you do for work, your lifestyle, all of that. Remember, those are results, those are effects. If you want to change that effect, you must deal with the cause, and the primal cause is how you are thinking. We talk about that so much, and we share that with you so much. And the reason why is because of how important it is for you to get it and to understand it. I mean, in this book here, The Secret of the Ages, which is what we've been studying, there's even a chapter on this called Primal Cause. You remember what he said in that when we went through this in a previous session about how we can never express anything that we do not first have in mind? I mean, think about that for you. You can't express anything in your life in terms of, how you're living unless you first have it in mind. And then he went even further in terms of I'm talking about Robert Collier. He said, the secret of all power, all success, all riches is in first thinking powerful thoughts, successful thoughts, thoughts of wealth and supply. We must build them in our own mind first. See, that's where it's at. That's where you've got to start. That's where everything is. And the sooner you get that, the sooner you condition yourself to think from the within out, my gosh, the sooner you will launch into the stratosphere with the results you seek. And that right there is amazing and incredible. I mean, think about what's available here for you to change your circumstances, your results, to change your environment. Remember, you've been given dominion over this earth. You say that to yourself. I've been given dominion over this earth. Yes, you have. And with that dominion, through the use of your mind, you could change how your room looks. You could change the room that you're in to go to a different room. You can change the home in which you live. You can change how you dress. You can change all of it. All that's required of you is to use that power. And again, that's what we're wanting you to understand. We're wanting you to get that. We're wanting you to connect with that. Because that is what's amazing. So, you ready? You ready to dive into this and use more of what we're talking about? Type in the comments, I'm ready if you're ready, so that we can dive into where we left off with yesterday. Let's go, shall we? Let's do this. All right. So here we are, and we are on page 69. And this is actually stemming from this part here of the matter to be born. Okay, there were some previous chapters here that we did dive into before that actually led to this wonderful statement right here. And I recommend that every one of you connect with what this message is here, okay? Learn to control your thought. Learn to image upon your mind only things you want to see reflected there. Now, I want you to notice how he says, learn to image upon them, on your mind, I should say. See, that's a reference specifically to your imagination. Remember, imagination's the starting point of all creation. Your imagination is the only true weapon you have to lead yourself into a different outcome. Now, let's sit in this for a moment. There's a result that's happening in your life that you're seeing. And remember, whatever you give energy to, you get more of multiplied. If you are looking at that current result, and even if you're looking at that current result and you're saying, I don't want that result, what is the image that's on the screen of your mind? It's that. That's what's there in your mind. That's what's being held there. Now remember, whatever is held on this screen of your mind automatically gets impressed into the heart. And your heart, being a loyal servant, but not loyal to you, loyal to what you've made important, does everything else to materialize whatever that is into your outer world. Now, here he's saying, learn to control your thought, learn to image upon your mind how you would love things to be, not things as they are. And that's, yes, a very difficult thing to do, but I got news for you. That's what will lead to your redemption. That's what will lead to the freedom you seek. And it's through no other way. I mean, look around you right now at all of the things that were made. At one time, they were not in existence in the physical realm. Think about that. The evidence showed that, hey, it's not there. There was no proof of it. It was nowhere in the reality of the physical realm. But somebody imaged it. Somebody imaged upon their mind the thing that they wanted to be there. They held the idea on the screen of their mind, and guess what manifested? Whatever those things are. Now look around you. There's so much evidence of this everywhere. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. This is a reference to imagination. All things were made by imagination. Oh, look, learn to image upon your mind. And without imagination was not anything made. And you have one. You get to use yours however you want to use it. And by the way, I will remind you that in terms of this imagination of yours, you're either a slave to your imaginings or a master of your imagination. Here he's saying, learn to control your thought. Be a master of your imagination. And only hold on the screen of your mind how you would love things to be. Never place into your imagination anything that you would not want to make a material fact. Why? Because that's the starting point. That's what leads to the externalization of the ideas. Now, you will never improve yourself by dwelling upon the drawbacks of your neighbors. You will never attain perfect health and strength by thinking of weakness or disease. No man ever made a perfect score by watching his rival's target. You have got to think strength, think health, think riches. To paraphrase Pascal, our achievements today are but the sum of our thoughts yesterday. Your achievements today, whatever they may be, are but the sum of your thoughts of yesterday. Now sit in that for a moment. Your results, your achievements, whatever they are, that's what they're supposed to be. Nothing more, nothing less. If you want to change those outcomes, those achievements to be something much different, much higher, guess where it's got to start? In your mind, in an image, in your imagination. For thought is energy. Mental images are concentrated energy. And energy concentrated on any definite purpose becomes power. To those who perceive the nature and transcendency of force, all physical power sinks to insignificance. Now here, big question is, but what is imagination but a form of thought? Now, I know that we went through this before, but see, the reason why I went over this way is because of the importance of it to lead to you actually really thinking about this question. Now, sit in that for a moment. Imagination is a form of thought, yet it is the instrument by which all inventors and discoverers have opened the way to new worlds. And by the way, this new life that you seek, this new life with different results, different outcomes, that's a new world. More of the same, you're in the same world. Big changes in your life, I got news for you. That's a new world. It's different outcomes. Those who grasp this force, be their states ever so humble, their natural gifts ever so insignificant, become our leading men, our leading women, our leading people. They are our governors, our supreme lawgivers, the guides of the drifting host, which follows them as an irrevocable decree. To quote Glenn Clark in the Atlantic Monthly, whatever we have of civilization is their work, theirs alone. If progress was made, they made it. If spiritual facts were discerned, they discerned them. If justice and order were put into place of insolence and chaos, they wrought the change. Never is progress achieved by the masses. Creation ever remains the task of the individual. And guess what? You're an individual. Sit in that for a moment. All of us are magnificent creators. With that being said, the universe, God, source, whatever it is you believe, works to and through the individual, of which there are billions of individuals, all of which deliver change in the outer world. Now, with that being said, it is true that in terms of true change, that it's never delivered by the masses. Most people, in terms of when they live their life conforming to a lot of what other people think. Now, that doesn't change that there's individuality in each and every one of us. What it does, though, reflect is that in terms of how most people think, they think according to what's there based from whatever way the wind's blowing. But see, this is where courage comes into play. This is where stepping into the ideas that come to you that don't conform to what the masses think comes into play, because that is where all the great change comes from. Not from how the masses think, because of that paradigm. And this is what we want you to step into. Now, before we proceed with more of this, for those of you who are watching this live stream and, okay, you're loving what you hear right here, right now, well, do yourself a favor. If you want to watch the rest of these calls, watch the replays, of which we do record every one of these calls, then do yourself a favor and go to elevitality.com and register for Master Your Mind. This is what our mentors study. This is what you study at a very high level. So do yourself a favor and do it. You'll thank yourself later. Now, let's continue with more of this in terms of the power of your magnificent